Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Facebook Live. I'm back. It's been a while. Was debating if I was going to start back up this week or next week, but decided to just kind of get started in this week. I'm going to give this a couple seconds, see if we could get some people on. Hi Carolina Rodriguez. Hi Brandy Hardeen. So good to see you both. Thank you for sharing, Carolina. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just gonna spray a little bit here. Hi, Candace. So I'm just gonna give it a couple seconds before I start going into like moon stuff. Let me open up a sacred container. So I'm gonna open this up. I wanna call on Archangel Michael, Archangel Ariel, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Shamuel, Archangel Zadkiel, Archangel Raguel. I want to call on Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Isis, Sekhmet, Babaji, Hathor, Green Tara. I want to call on my guardian angels. I want to call on the guardian angels of everyone that's watching. I want to call on ancestors of God's white light, spirit animals, totem animals of God's white light that are willing and able to assist in this space. And with that, the circle's open. Hi, Alexander. Hi, everybody. So if you're up for sharing the video, that helps me a ton. Hi, Trevor. Yeah, so if you're up for sharing the video, that helps me a lot. And I was saying at the beginning that wasn't sure if I was going to start back up this week or next week, but decided that I really love being here with you all and helping you all. So Hola! So I'm here this week. I'm a little bit tired today, so it's nothing to do with a lack of enthusiasm for being here. Also, I want to say I'm sorry that I didn't get to do travel vlogs while I was away. My trip was so many things. It was a lot of emotions. It was a full-time energy management job for me. So there was just really no wiggle room at all for me to be sharing and broadcasting what I was going through with everybody else, because I was dealing with it a lot on my own. So that's why that didn't happen, and that was a lesson for me also in understanding that sometimes, hi Rosina, sometimes we think that things are gonna go one way, but they kind of take a left turn and they work out very differently. So it was a lesson for me too in understanding how to kind of create space and that it's okay that not everything has to be shared with everybody. So that's all that. So moon updates. So the moon right now is in Aquarius. It was in Capricorn yesterday and the day before, so you might have been feeling some frustration, some blocks, some irritation with the moon in Capricorn. The moon does not like being in Capricorn. It's a very restrictive emotional place for it. And in addition, there's a lot of stuff going on in Capricorn. We've got Pluto there, we've got Saturn there. We also have Mars retrograde, which went retrograde, thank you Randy, which went retrograde back into Capricorn in the last degree of Capricorn just recently. So it definitely has been some edgy energy, some frustration energy, some impatience energy. So if you're not really a patient person, it's probably been extra hard for you lately. But now that the moon's in Aquarius, it's a lot more about opening ourselves up to our social circles, friends, communicating with friends, kind of upgrading our mind, learning things. Yeah, so now that the moon's in Aquarius, it's going to be a little bit of a different energy. And then we have a full moon in Pisces coming up this weekend. I am drinking this matcha almond green tea beverage from Trader Joe's. It's actually not as good as I thought it was going to be, but it's still semi-tasty. It could be better. We are going to have a full moon in Pisces this weekend, and this full moon is a particularly interesting one. Because it's forming what's called a grand trine. In astrology, that means literally big triangle. Well, it translates to literally big triangle, but it means that all of the elements of that sign, whether it's earth, fire, water, air, are all connected. So in this case, it's actually forming a grand trine between Saturn, Uranus, and the Sun, because the Sun will actually be moved into Virgo by that time. So shout out to all my fellow Virgos. My solar return, or in astrology that's like your birthday, is coming up super fast. It's actually going to be next Tuesday. So I'm excited for that. I feel a lot better about this birthday than last year's birthday. Last year's birthday was probably one of the worst I've ever had. So I think in comparison, I don't want to speak anything into it, but I feel like I have a good feeling that this one will be better. But what was I saying there? So yeah, so there's going to be actually a grand trine between the Sun in Virgo, Saturn in Capricorn, and Uranus in Taurus. That will form a triangle. There's also going to be some additional aspects that all together will create what's called a kite pattern in astrology, which is a very unique pattern. I actually have one in my chart. It's really cool. And it's just a very important pattern in the chart which points to a particular energy. So the main message I can give you for this weekend's full moon, and of course if you're interested in getting a customized report, that is something that I do monthly, and that's a paid offering where I actually look at your astrology chart and I give you customized advice via an audio recording of how that new and full moon of that month will be personally affecting you, and then I do a card pull for each new and full moon. It's a really sweet offering, and people that partake of it really love it. Yeah, so, you know, this particular full moon is really going to teach us kind of further about surrender and being in the flow and kind of letting things go and accepting things the way they are right now. In general, we've been through so much this summer. There's been 3 eclipses. We had 2 in July, we had 1 in August. We've had so many planets in retrograde. Yay! Thank you, Brandy. We've had so many planets in retrograde. Mercury is now direct. However, Mars has been retrograde for a while, and Mars does not go retrograde all the time. It only happens every 2 years. So it's pretty significant because Mars rules our drive, our willpower, our libido, just our overall willpower and energy. So when Mars goes retrograde, it can make us more lethargic, more tired. It can create setbacks in goals being achieved, or it kind of depends what sign it's in, how it's gonna exactly affect you or come about. But this has been really significant that we've been under a Mars retrograde, and that's actually, Mars will be going direct on the 27th. So it's coming up really soon now, and a lot of people are looking forward to that. So pretty much we're kind of now entering into a new phase starting next week onwards into September, where a lot of the planets are going to kind of come back on. They're going to start to go direct again, and the energy is going to begin to pick up more speed. So it's just right now the recipe is really to just kind of ride out the changes that have come forward in your life, and to really kind of accept where you're at and to surrender into it. You know, if you have emotions, you can let the emotions come up, but really to just trust and have faith that there's like a bigger process that's unfolding that is for your highest good is really the most important message right now. So that's pretty much what I have for astrology, which is not a simple matter. I guess you could say it's a lot. But yes. So there's all of that. If anybody has specific questions about, let me rephrase that. So if you have a general question astrologically, by all means put it in the chat. I'm happy to answer that, especially if it will benefit multiple people from hearing it. If you have something specific to your chart, that may be something that would be more appropriate for a personalized reading. But if you have a specific question or just general, kind of give it a think, and feel free to put any kind of general helpful, if you just want to know something about astrology, put that in the chat. I'm somewhat rambling right now, so a little out of practice, I guess. But otherwise, I want to transition to the cards. I'm going to do card pulls for people. So like I said, if you're interested to help me out, you can share this video. That helps a ton. And otherwise, I am doing card pulls, yes. Otherwise, Yeah, so go ahead and just how Carolina's done that, go ahead and comment in the chat if you're interested in having a card pull. I've got 3 decks here, so I'm going to intuitively choose a deck, and I am doing just general readings when I do card pulls on here. I also would strongly recommend that if you kind of got on late, and I'll probably repeat this a couple times. Thank you, Brandy. If you got on late, definitely go back to the beginning and listen to my rambling about what's going on astrologically, because I did go in detail. I just finished going in detail about the current moons this week, the full moon coming up, and things like that. So definitely, when this is done, go back and watch that from the beginning, because it will be helpful. So it looks like we have Carolina first. Brandy, let me know if you'd like a card pull. It looks like Brooke would like one. And with all that being said, I myself am kind of coming back up to full speed with my spiritual business. Pretty much almost all of it. I managed to do one reading while I was away, but a lot of it was on hold while I was dealing with things there and going through changes in my life and processing lots of emotional things. So please, if you reached out via message or an email and you feel like the connection fell through or that you need to circle back, please don't hesitate to email me or message me again. Now is a really good time to kind of get that communication back in place. Between the time difference and just everything I was going through, it was really, I definitely did my best, but I really had no time to kind of devote to working on spiritual curriculums or anything beyond the scope of what I was dealing with in the here and the now. So, hi Queen! Alright, so let's see. Yay, so Brandy would like a card pull, Brooke would like a card pull. So let's start here with Carolina Rodriguez. I'm going to pull for you first. So, I'm getting the sense that I need to... Hi! Alright, so let's see. What does Carolina Rodriguez need to know right now? I got one there. Beautiful. You got it, Queen. It is live. Yep, this one is live, Queen. And you can always tell because if you look in the wow, my finger looks so long like that. If you look in the upper left, it should say live. When it's the replay, it will not say live. You'll just be watching it, and you'll also be able to tap and you'll be able to scroll and scan forward and backwards if it's already been done, which sometimes is nice. I actually watch a lot of, for card pulls like this, it's of course great to catch me live because you'll get it one-on-one for you. But I actually watch a lot of talks, like even if I catch it when the person's talking, sometimes I like to just go back and kind of watch it on my own time because I can't have the ability to scroll and fast forward or whatnot, or rewind if I need to hear things again. Oh, is live, okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean, but I think I know what you mean. Okay, so for Carolina Rodriguez, we have 3 really good cards here. So let me... Okay, so we've got... Actually, I just want to check. I also have the sense that this deck... Alright. So for you, Carolina, we have... These are really beautiful cards. I can relate as well. 2 hearts dedicated to creating something new. So this is about like relationship, partnership, people coming together in some type of way, tender-hearted connections in your life in general. So this is also, you can call on Archangel Raphael for support with this, but this is like 2 souls that are connecting in some type of way. And you can see the ocean there, and you can see that this just has a lot of loving, healing energy. So this is a really nice card. You also have Knight of Michael, strong, committed, intellectual, diligent, time to move quickly, choose logic over emotion, sudden changes. So it's like, there might have been some things that you went through which were emotional, but now is a time for you to kind of just do the best that you can to kind of focus on taking charge of the situation and really just forming a strategic approach of how to bounce back from that situation. Yay, I'm so glad. Yeah, so this is about kind of you taking ownership, having courage to kind of keep going, and really understanding that the emotions that you processed, it's okay that they came through, and now is a time for you to maybe get more logical or more strategic about what you need to do moving forward. Because the next card you have after that is New Home, which is an amaze card. And by the way, if these cards are resonating with you, just as in like when I pull them, they resonate with me, or if somebody else is listening, it's also messages for you too. Because I set the intention for my guardian angels and all the guardian angels of those who are on the live to kind of help the messages come through for what people need to hear. So it is also, sometimes can also be a collective message. Yes. Yeah, so you got here New Home. Now this can also represent like a change in job, but a lot of times this card is related to like some type of relocation or like moving in some type of way. And it's saying that like a change in your living environment is going to be really supportive for you, and that's coming in the future. But right now you're in the zone of needing to kind of be strategic and take action about your goals and what you can do to get there, but that's coming energetically. And this would technically kind of be in the past position then. So I actually really like that spread for you, Carolina. It's a very thorough spread, kind of covering like a lot of ground. So it's I like that one a lot when they're thorough. All right, let's see where we're at. So you're so welcome, Carolina. Thank you for acknowledging me. All right, so Brooke Benson is next. Good, I'm glad, Brooke. I am glad. It resonated for me, me three, I should say. Okay, so I actually am feeling called to do goddess guidance for you, Brooke, so let's do that here. I think what I'll hold off on that thought, but I may do also an overall message from 2 other decks at the end. Just kind of getting that guidance right now, but I do also want to make sure I'm doing kind of these one-on-ones before I get to that. So what does Brooke Benson need to know right now? All right, good stuff. So from Goddess Guidance for you, Brooke, we have Mother Mary, Expect a Miracle. Beautiful card. This one says, have faith that your prayers have been heard and are being answered. This is all about loving yourself, trusting in an unconditionally loving universe, trusting in a supportive universe, a kind universe. Fun fact, but also tender fact. Let me show you guys. Mother Mary has been my Ascended Master Mentor for the year, and this card has carried me through some very intense times this year. This card traveled with me to Australia this summer and was there beside me during some very difficult things that I went through, and it's back on my desk now, and it's still supporting me in that way. So do not underestimate the power of Mother Mary. Calling on Mother Mary, she can be like a second mother to you, especially when you feel like maybe your own mother or mother guardians or female role models in your life are falling short of loving you. You can call on Mother Mary to be that for you, and she will be very strong and powerful in that way. And there is sort of in religion this kind of archetype of Mother Mary as this sort of like older woman, or like not very, like kind of like cut and dry image. And I think it's important to really consider that Mother Mary has almost a mother, sister, friend archetype all in one, which is why I love this card so much, because you can see that there's that love and that purity from her, but you also can really feel the strength in her eyes, and you can feel the youthfulness of her. So whether you need her to function as a sister, a mentor, a mother, whatever it is, I just cannot recommend calling on Mother Mary enough. She's just an amazing guide to call on. And also just the power of prayer. I was really nervous about something last night, and I literally just like prayed nonstop while I was driving there, and it all worked out so well. So do not underestimate the power of Mother Mary, and do not underestimate the power of prayer. The next card you have, Brooke, is King of Ariel. Successful, stable, accomplished, powerful. Your plans are working out very well. Professional and financial success, using resources wisely. So what I'm getting from this is, as a result of you really trusting in the universe, making prayers to heaven and calling on Mother Mary for support, you are planting seeds which are going to help you become more financially sound and successful and support you in getting more grounded to manifest the things that you want. This is where it will be good to go back and listen to what I said at the beginning about the moon energy and the retrograde energy, and that we've been in this more sluggish energy. The eclipses trigger a lot of change in us. They're very emotional and very unpredictable. Now we're going to be moving into a time where planets are going to start continuing to go more direct, and manifesting is going to be faster and a bit easier. Thank you for all the likes. I'm loving the likes. I think Brandy's sending likes. Thank you so very much. Oh, I love that. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. If it's Yoli Perez, let me know if I'm saying that right. That's a beautiful message, though. Thank you for sharing that with us. Yay, love the hearts and the likes. Thank you so much. So, Brooke, hopefully you're still on. So that's your present card. Your future card, then? Yoli. Cool. I love it. Almost like holy, but with a Y. Love all the emojis, Brooke. Yeah, so then your last card here, it's perfect. So it's goodbye to the old and hello to the new. So it's like really like the completion of a cycle and honoring that things had to be let go of in order for new things to come forward. But before you get there, there's this journey with Mother Mary and this journey of sowing seeds for success to get there. So it's another similar kind of spread to the first one that I had. Yeah, so it's good stuff. And it's okay if you don't know exactly how it's going to look right now. That's another message I'm really feeling called to share. But I'm loving how these card spreads too are paralleling. It's really reinforcing that people are going through similar things in their energy archetypes right now. So you're not alone. Okay, so let's see here. Who is next? Okay, so Brandy is next, and then Yoli is next. Love you so much, Brandy. Okay, so Brandy's next. So let's see, what does Brandy need to know right now? And for some reason I'm getting the urge, love you so much too, sister. For some reason I'm getting the urge to share this kind of like simple but maybe meaningful little scenario. So before, when I was trying to set up my live, usually before I go live, I try to figure out how to get the best lighting in place so that I don't look dark and you guys can see the cards. So I had set up this light here and then another light, and when I looked at the phone, it looked like it was still dark. And I was just like, this is frustrating because I feel like I'm doing everything right, but I can't see the light. You know, I was like, it's still dark. I'm still only seeing the darkness. And what I realized is that I hadn't really told my phone, I sort of had not been in the present moment with my phone. So I tapped my phone, and in so doing, it kind of like refreshed it, and it showed me as I was going live how I would be well lit. So it reminded me of that concept. Like, it's also from Harry Potter. Like, there's a quote by Albus Dumbledore where it's like, I don't remember it exactly, but it's to the effect of, like, we'll only see the darkness until we remember to turn on a light, essentially. So I feel like that is a really important message people need to hear right now, is that if you're getting into a mode of frustration and pain and complaining, you're not going to be able to get out of that kind of inner darkness unless you take the time to turn on a light. And it might just be a little light, you know, it might just be the littlest thing, but it helps steer you down a different path of starting to see more of the light and more of the good. And sometimes that's all it takes, is just kind of like tapping, and I mean, you literally can tap, right? For example, again, last night, I was really struggling. All day, I was like, today is not working for me. Everything was really frustrating. I felt like nothing was going right. I was gonna cancel plans that I really had delayed almost twice before, and was not really the best idea for me to cancel. And one of my friends tagged me in a video on Instagram of this really funny woman just doing this like really funny empowerment speech, and it was just a couple minutes long, but it was enough to remind me of the light, and I let that go on replay, and it really, really helped me to reset. So I just want to share that like, if you're struggling, and again, for those on replay as well, if you're struggling, there has been so much that has gone on this summer, and in particular in the month of August. I myself have been through a lot of emotional pain this month, and I just can't emphasize enough how important it is to not lose sight of the fact that sometimes it just takes a little bit of course correction to kind of get into a more positive flow again, and don't underestimate the power of that. It's just a really important message to understand that you always can continue to up level and raise your vibration. There's just the only place to go is up, you know, but you have to remember to seek out going up, if that makes sense. So yeah, so that's my message there. So for you, Brandy, we have in the past position 3 of Michael. So this is definitely a card about grief and sadness and emotional pain. You could see here like Archangel Michael's consoling her, and she's really upset. So it's like, this is confirming energetically that you've had things going on that have been really upsetting to you and feel like grief. It's emotional pain and it's upset, you know. But the good news is that's in the past. The present position you have is be yourself, which is all about, kind of similar to this card actually, similar energy. Charging forward, really recognizing that you're unique, you are an individual unlike anybody else, and you know, unicorns represent purity, so it's like your soul is pure, you know, like you've done nothing wrong. You've done nothing wrong, you're perfect. Your soul is perfect the way it is, right? What really you need to do is just believe in your own worthiness and understand yourself and love yourself through the circumstances you're in while you take action steps to work on changing them. That's really what this is saying. And then in the future you have Mayat from the Goddess deck, fairness. So it's like this situation will be handled fairly. Like the universe is working in your favor. It's conspiring on your behalf. And eventually, and actually, you know, we're going to be soon into Virgo season. And then Venus is actually going to go, when Venus moves into Libra, which will be happening in the coming weeks, I forget exactly when, but it's happening soon. It's actually going to go retrograde. So this is going to actually bring back love, relationships, or experiences for you to process through the sign of Venus, including your relationships and your relationship with money. But don't feel like it's a bad thing, because retrogrades, what they do is they sort of energetically, they put whatever that energy of that planet is, they put it more so in our face, so we have to deal with it. So there is going to be a lot of energy coming up around relationships and fairness that will be processed in the coming weeks as we go into that Venus retrograde. And especially if you have Libra energy in your chart, it definitely will be important for you. So like for myself, I have a lot of Libra energy. I have a Libra ascendant and a Libra moon. Brandy, I'm pretty sure we can chat about this afterwards, but I'm pretty sure you have Jupiter in Libra. So I definitely feel like there's going to be, energetically, there will be things going on with you as well, and we'll be able to support each other through that. So, you know, this is just about affirming, though, that things will be handled in a fair manner and that the universe is working on your behalf. And I'm really looking at these messages that are coming through in these sets of 3, and that's the theme. You know, is that there's some phase of struggle in the past that a lot of us have gone through in our past energy. The present is really about being in the present moment, acknowledging our self-worth, acknowledging our individuality, and sort of taking charge of the situation. And in so doing, we then can move into more future energy of more manifestation and movement. So good stuff. You're welcome, Brandy. Love you so much. All right, so looks like Brooke is there. All right, so Yoli is next, and then Queen is next. Just scanning through. Yep. Yeah, we're a smaller group tonight. Hi, Yoli. We're a smaller group tonight, but that's okay. I kind of figured that may happen, and that's all good. So, okay, so who did I say? Yoli? Yes, Yoli and then Queen. So what does Yoli need to know right now? Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, so Yoli, for you, we have in the past position, connect with nature. So this is about you getting more grounding in your life, getting outside more. So I'm wondering if you did go on a trip more, whether it was like camping or to the ocean or to a lake or something, but this is like you were connected to nature in a deeper way, or you needed to connect to nature in a deeper way in the past, in the recent past. The present card is 5 of Michael, which is this situation doesn't serve you. Release your attachment to the outcome. Consider taking a more uplifting approach. The really important thing about this card is that Archangel Michael's on this card, and he's basically vacuuming away. This is his what's called his etheric vacuum. So he's actually vacuuming away negative energy. So you can call on Archangel Michael to actually cleanse your aura. Another way to also shift energy and cleanse energy in a space is to actually clean it up. It's to tidy it up, to vacuum to dust. That actually disrupts the energy. Also, salt baths, salt scrubs in the shower, really great for cleansing energy. Smudging, sage, Palo Santo, crystals, wearing crystals that support clearing energy. All of this is really good. I also do, hello fellow earth sign Yoli then, a Taurus, okay. So depending what degree of Taurus you are, Yoli, you're probably being affected by the planet Uranus, which moved into Taurus, especially if you're an early degree Taurus. So if you're interested in kind of exploring anything with your astrology, feel free to message me and we can chat about my rates and see if there's something within your budget. But in general, I feel like right now you need to go through some energy clearing. The universe might even be doing this for you. It might be kind of removing things that don't serve you and forcing you to have to kind of recoup and figure out new ways to be in situations or with people. But also I think it's just going to support you right now to kind of do some energetic cleanup, maybe in the form of tidying up your space. Open up the windows, let fresh air in. You can burn incense, or you can also have an essential oil diffuser. Just bringing in beautiful fresh energy, scents, cleaning, and then bringing in scents. I do deep energy clearings. They are kind of intense, so I don't recommend it for everybody unless you're really ready for it. But if you're interested in that, feel free to message me and we can chat about that. They're very, very powerful. It does shift energy though, so it will shift things around you, and it's important to kind of be aware of that if you're going to be on board for it. But there's a lot of other methods to clear your energy before you get to that point, if you need. The other card you have, you're welcome, Yoli. The last card you have is Isolde's Undying Love, or Isolde, I think her name is pronounced. And this is the story of Tristan and Isolde, they were two lovers, kind of like a Romeo and Juliet situation. They were two lovers that really wanted to be together but could not. But this card always affirms that it's like your love is eternal. Love itself never dies, right? Like the love that you had with that person never goes away. It just gets transmuted, and what ends up happening is that your karmic contract with that person is now complete, and it's time for you to move on and explore loving with new people. But it doesn't discount the love that you had with that person. It's always there. So this card is just really affirming that. Yeah, it's definitely a very important practice. I do salt scrubs in the shower pretty regularly. I unfortunately can't take salt baths where I am, but I do salt scrubs in the shower, and I really enjoy that. I work with essential oils. I'm always burning incense. There's so much you could do to kind of clear energy and space. Also sound. You can actually use, like, I'll show you guys really quick. You can buy something like this, which are just little brass cymbals basically, and you can do things like, and then you can kind of just move them around the space like that. If you really want to get fancy with sound clearing, you could look into, like, if there is somewhere, yeah, if there is somewhere by you that does singing bowl, the crystal singing bowls, or I personally love drumming. I love drumming circles a lot. That's another way to go and also kind of clear your energy, but that will not clear the energy in your space because you're leaving your space to go do that. So it's important though to have regular practices. A bell will work. A bell will work. Another fun tip about clearing spaces is, I have it. I have to look for it for you guys, but there's a book by Denise Lynn. I'm pretty sure it's called Sacred Spaces or something like that. She talks at length about she studied all different types of Native American and shamanistic traditions, and she talks at length about different ways to clear a room using things like bells or candles or things like that. So definitely check her out, Denise Lynn, D-E-N-I-S-E, and then L-Y-N-N, pretty sure is how you spell her name. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So I believe Queen was next, if I'm remembering correctly. So, Queen, if you're still here, let me know. Thank you. Thank you so much, Oli. You too. I received that. So let's see. So what does Queen need to know right now? Yay! Okay. So it's really weird because my lip is itching, Queen, and this doesn't always happen. So typically also because I'm inviting myself to be like kind of like a channel for the readings, I'm wondering if there's something that you're literally itching to say, which you're not saying. I wonder if there's something going on there where you're wanting to express yourself and you're having difficulty, but it really needs to come out. So I don't know if that's a message that you need to hear, but I felt compelled to share. Does Queen need to know right now? Oh no. All right, so for you, Queen, we have in the past position 10 of Ariel. This is a card about friendship and community and connection. It's sort of like the girlfriend's card in a way. It's a happy card, you know, about things being good in your life that you have. You know, you may have even traveled somewhere recently. You could see that there's definitely a European vibe. There's Eiffel Tower in the background. But in general, this is just about good, solid girlfriend connections and how that's a positive source for you in your life. Archangel Ariel is associated with manifestation. Remember that I have that Archangel Cheat Sheets curriculum for sale, which I do a cheat sheet per Archangel, and I go through each Archangel. I wrote out a prayer, crystal associations. There's so much. It's a really wonderful curriculum to learn from. So I would recommend that if you're interested. But what was I gonna say here? Yeah, so in the past we have this kind of this girlfriend's card. In the present you have love life. So you're definitely thinking about love and romance and how you can bring more of that into your life. So it's almost like in the past you're loving connections had to be more so with your girlfriends because that was sort of the safest way for you to receive love at that time. But now you're moving into kind of like a new energy where you can invite yourself into more playful. Notice how this is really playful energy. So I feel like that's the theme, is that if you're going to be pursuing something romantic, let it be very playful, okay? But then the future card you have is independent, fast. So these are slightly conflicting, but the other way I can interpret it is that both are equally important for you right now, especially with Venus going to be moving into Libra, which is about duality and balance. There is going to be this need for both, right? The need for connection and partnership, but also the need to not get too caught up in connection and partnership such that we lose our sense of self and our independence. That's a major theme in my life, in my astrological chart, so I certainly can relate. Thank you so much, Brandy. Yeah, so Queen, I feel like I would really focus in on the energy. If you want to watch the replay of this, that might even help you too. Focus in on the energy of it being a playful romance. So maybe you're putting out the vibration that it needs to be like the one, or that it needs to be really serious or a really long-term commitment, and instead focus on it being playful and childlike. You know, maybe bringing in a relationship that's just fun and just like the person is kind and they teach you things, you know. I feel like that would be really good, and at the same time continuing to work on your sense of self and your independence, you know. These are things that I feel like really can help you. It's so funny, I'm curating all these 3-card spreads as like a massive spread over here on the left side of me. So with that, I think I've got everybody. So if there's anybody else that's on that I did not pull a card for, let me know and I will happily pull for you. I'm going to open it up to that. I'm also going to open it up, excuse me, if you have questions. Good, I'm so glad, Queen. Yeah, so I pretty much also am back, and I will be looking to do my Facebook Lives on Thursday nights again, so spread the word, come back. Pretty much around this time, 8:30. Sometimes if I have something going on, it might be later, like 9 o'clock, but today worked out perfectly to do 8:30, and like I said, there's a lot of info at the beginning of this live about the moons and everything that has been going on astrologically. It's no joke what we've been going through, but it's gonna get better, you know, and it's all okay. Hi there, so are you one person or two? Because it looks like your name is 2, and I'm not sure what your name is. Yes, agreed, Queen. I completely agree in many, many, many ways. It's been very emotionally intense for me as well, and at times was difficult for me to even... it was a constant process to remind myself that there was eclipses going on, there was a lot of energy going on, but even what came through for me was very challenging and difficult, and I did have a lot of emotional breakdowns and a lot of things that I processed, so I can understand. So Jeffrey and Amanda Armstrong, I'm not quite sure what to do with that, because usually people come on as just one person. So maybe at another time, if you guys can log on as your individual accounts, and then I would pull for you. You know, I don't do 2 people at once, so I'm not really sure what to do with that. So, yes. I'm also going to open this up for, I'm feeling maybe just to kind of transition out of cards and really just open this up as a prayer request. So if you have a prayer request, you certainly can put that in the chat and we can hold space for you. Also, if you have a general question about something astrologically or something that came through in this Facebook Live, feel free to put that in the chat as well, or even just about offerings or things like that. It's so wonderful to see some of you guys again. I really appreciate you guys that come on regularly. It means a lot, and I'm happy to field questions along those lines. Do we have any prayer requests? Do we have any questions? Yeah, so praying for you so much, Brandy. If you all can send prayers to Brandy, She's definitely in need of some support, some clarity right now. I will also accept prayers. I've been through, so if your Venus is in Libra, Queen, then definitely that's really going to be affecting you, because Venus will be retrograding in your natal Venus sign. So you're definitely going to be looking at love in a really deep way. In terms of specific changes, I'd probably have to do some type of session with you, like either a card pull, personalized, or some type of look at your chart. I try not to give people advice based on just one aspect, because our charts are so complex and we are multifaceted, which is what makes us really unique, right? So a lot of times, like, you'll have one aspect that's being affected, but there might be something else going on that's like even more powerful, right? So it's important that I look at the whole picture. Yeah. That's actually a major thing that I have had to work on in my life, is looking at things at a big picture level, and it's something that I've gotten pretty good at, is kind of rising above those factual details and really looking at it from a bird's eye view. I'm not perfect at it, but it's something that I've had to learn how to do, and it's really important, because sometimes we get lost in facts and details, and sometimes when people receive a fact but they don't know the entire story, it's actually can be hurtful, you know. So there's a kind of a delicate balance there, and that's actually the axis essentially of Gemini versus Sagittarius, is really what that's about. So thank you, I received those prayers. So what other questions, prayer requests do we have? And if you guys feel called to send love to me, I will receive love and good vibes. I've been through a lot the past 6 weeks. A lot. I've had massive changes happen in my life, which were surprising and unsettling, and there's just a lot going on with me as well. So I will also accept prayers for anybody that feels called to send. Scorpio, Sag, cusp. Nice. Yeah. So again, Queen, I'd want to take a look at your chart, but I would also pay attention to the placement of Jupiter and the degrees that Jupiter is at right now and how that's affecting you, because Jupiter will be moving over your sun as a late degree Scorpio. It's not there yet, but it will be coming, and then when it goes into Sagittarius this fall, that'll also still be affecting you, because you might have some planets in early Sag, just from what I understand, from my astrological knowledge, just off the top of my head. But certainly I'd want to look at your chart and like give you more specific advice, you know. So thank you, Brandy. Thank you, Norma. Thank you so much. And, you know, guys, if you're interested in like a personalized reading, thank you, Queen. That's a beautiful intention, Queen. If anybody's interested in like a personalized reading, cards or astrology, please keep in mind that I know what it's like to have financial constraints. So if you message me and say, hey, this is my budget, what can I do? I will be honest with you, and I will offer you something within your budget. It might not be what you're wanting if it doesn't align with, you know, what, you know, there might be a disparity there, but I am of the belief that a little bit of help is better than no help, right? So therefore, I don't like to shut things down and say, okay, well, my hourly rate is this, so it's that or nothing. If you have a budget, I will work with you to say, okay, that's my budget, and see if there's something that we could do, you know, within that budget. And a lot of times it works really well for people that way. So please do keep that in mind, you know. In addition, I was hoping to have it in place for this Thursday, but just energetically I've been dealing with a lot, so hopefully for next week. But I am actually planning on starting a Patreon, if you guys know what that is. It's a website where essentially you can subscribe and you can support people with different initiatives, whether it's like artistic or musical or anything. And I'm actually going to be doing that just for cards. So I'm going to have 3 tiers. It'll be really, really cheap, a monthly subscription. So there's going to be a $5 a month level. I think the rates that I decided upon, I'm still deciding, but there's going to be a $5 a month level where you will be able to get the message of a single card pull for the entire month. So like a focus card for the month. Yeah, it's really cool, Brandy. Then there's going to be a $7 level, which will be that you'll get to participate in getting a card pull bi-weekly, so essentially 2 cards for the month. And then there will be a $11 level, which will be, you'll be getting a card message weekly. I want to just emphasize though that this is not a personalized message for you. That would be a personalized reading. This is an overall message for the collective, but this is not something that I'll be sharing anywhere else. It will not be shared on my Instagram or Facebook or in my lives. So this is something that is really low cost, really affordable for you to just be plugged in to getting some extra love monthly. In addition, when you're a subscriber with this Patreon, if you are a subscriber to my Patreon account, you'll also get a discount on personalized readings. And I've pretty much decided on those discounts as 10% for the first tier, 15% for the second tier, and 20% for the third tier. So it's not... This is all I'm literally telling you from what's in my head and what I've channeled, but this is going to go on that site, and I will definitely be announcing it on my Facebook and Instagram, and probably again in Facebook Live next week. It's just at the beginning stages right now, but if that's something that interests you, if you want regular messages, focus messages, it's going to be super affordable, literally between $5 and $11 a month. The reason why it's so low cost is because, number one, it's not a personalized reading, it's a collective message. And also the idea is that I want to get multiple people on board to subscribe so that it becomes lower cost for those to receive supportive messages, but also it's also kind of works. So if I'm not getting too many people, I may pull the plug. So definitely spread the word about that. But like I said, it's going to be super affordable. And I have patrons that I support. I love Harry Potter, and there's this Harry Potter podcast I listen to, and they have a Patreon, and I subscribe and support them monthly, and I get bonus content that I can listen to with that. So this will be kind of similar, but it'll be focused specifically on a card reading. I don't know if I'm going to do something with it for astrology yet. Right now, my monthly content for astrology is really in the form of those personalized moon reports. So I kind of have to have more of a think about if and how and when I would do that at a lower cost. I don't know that I would, because I like doing them personalized. So this might be just for cards, but stay tuned if you're interested in some version of astrology for it. Maybe I will come up with some way to do that. So yeah. Anyway, so I think this is a good place to wrap up. Much love to everybody that caught this live that's also watching it on replay. And like I said, feel free to message me, email me. Please do go back if you came on later and watch this from the beginning. There's a lot of info in here about positivity. There's a lot of messages that came through. There's a lot of information in here at the beginning about the moon sign. The moon sign's changing, and just a lot of things. So please go back and watch from the beginning. I also encourage people to, you can tag somebody in the comments. You can write their name and tag them. You can also share this video. There's plenty of ways to share out the message. So thank you, Brandy. Thank you, everybody. Much love. Good night.